Hey guys, got a quick update for you. Got hit with something that I was not really expecting, and that is poison oak, or poison ivy, or poison sumac. I'm not really sure what, but I believe on my run about a week ago up near Superior around those old mining ruins that I came in contact with something that is not good. And yesterday was a rough day. So after I was course marking all morning, and by the end of my run, my ankle was so swollen that I could barely even move my ankle. I also started getting blisters on my foot, and that has just worsened to the point that I have blisters all over my legs, and the rash seems to be spreading more and is extremely painful, itchy, and burning. So I'm not really sure where that leaves me the rest of this week, but I rested last night and haven't really done a whole lot today. I'm gonna just have to wait this out and see. I went into the doctor and got a steroid actually, and also antibiotics, because I've got some already broken, these blisters have already broken open, so I don't want to get any sort of infection. So hopefully that will help, but I know that for something like this, it just does take time for my body to heal from it. Things I've read, it says about 7 to 10 days is the worst of it, and I'm right in that period of time right now. So I'm not entirely sure if Mesquite Canyon 50K is going to happen for me tomorrow, or if this week is going to hold the 30,000 feet that I had hoped. I'm only at 12,500 right now, although I had a great run 2 days ago. I actually felt really good after the 10,000 feet of climbing on that one day. So regardless, I'm just gonna have to roll with this. Sometimes these things happen, and at the end of the day, if I get 12,500 this week, or if I got 30,000, I don't know if it's gonna make a huge difference at this point anyways. Barkley is about so much more than just, the training 2 weeks leading up to it. So hopefully this will just heal up over the course of the next few days to a week, and it will be totally gone by the time I head to Tennessee. Something really nice that just came in the mail is I've got a couple packages here from Salomon, so I'm going to open that up and see what I got. All right, looks like this looks like a hat, maybe. Oh, nice. I think my buddy Mike was saying you can fill this with, oh yeah, I think you can fill this hat with ice and then put it on your head. It's pretty styling. What do you guys think? You put ice right in the top? That's pretty awesome. Looks like we also got a shirt here. Nice. Oh, and this is what I've been waiting for. They know I love this color. We got the Salomon S-Lab Sense Ultra 8 set. So this vest looks awesome. I better make sure that it fits me before I tear it to pieces here. This is a vest that I've used the first version of this one, and actually it got hijacked by my buddy Michael Versteeg on his Arizona trail, and I've been waiting for this newest one to come out. Nice. It's got some collapsible water bottles. Oh, these must be their new version. Looks like a reinforced top and bottom, because I know they've had some issues in the past with those leaking. What else do we got here? Looks like a jacket, which is something I desperately have been needing. This is the Benati Pro waterproof jacket. This will definitely come in handy out in a couple weeks. Got that. As well as, oh sweet, little Salomon headband. What up? So we got this one over here. All right, we got three pairs of. Oh, nice. Oh, this is the S-Lab Sense Ultra. Sweet. Check that grip out. And 2 of the Sense Pro 2s. This has been one of my favorite shoes I've been using for the last couple of years. It's just a solid go-to shoe. I actually just saw these on social media. I think that they just came out, so looks like this might be a nice option for Barkley this year, actually. I've had a little issue with the S-Labs being too narrow, but this one really looks pretty good. It looks like it has about the same footprint as, almost even a wider footprint than the Sense Pro 2. Pretty stoked about these guys. So that's it. Thank you, Salomon, for hooking me up here. These will definitely come in handy here in a couple weeks. Just as I continue to go through my gear, I'm hopping online right now too, trying to order backup compass and some other things that I know I'll need out there at Frozen Head to make this, give myself the best possible chance of a finish. So, pack all this up. It's Friday, 6:30 p.m., getting all loaded up here for tomorrow's Mesquite Canyon 50K 50-mile trail runs. I've got all this camera equipment that I'm going to load up. I still don't know if I'm going to run tomorrow. I'm yet undecided. I kind of have to see. I popped all the blisters on my ankle, and it was feeling a little better, but they've all returned like within a couple hours. So there's just a lot going on down there, and I'm not sure exactly what to do. So probably be a game day decision tomorrow. Wrapping up a day of mostly rest. I've been on this bed a good part of the morning and the evening, just trying to recover from whatever's going on with my ankles and my legs. Spared you guys the expense of popping all my blisters, but it wasn't a pretty sight. I'll give you a quick look here. Yep. So that's what I'm dealing with. I think I'm like 95% sure I'm not going to race the 50K tomorrow. I think it's a smart idea, especially since I did have an allergic reaction to, some vegetation. And I think with having open sores on my ankles, running around through trails that are fully in bloom with pollen everywhere, probably not a good idea, because it's going to get everywhere down there. So probably just take the day off and support everyone else running. And if I feel up for it, I can, head out on Sunday. But ultimately, I've got only 2 weeks to get these legs healed up. And that's going to be more important than any vertical I can do tomorrow or even this weekend. So yeah, it's hard to rest, but sometimes important. I had some people that are just tuning in that didn't know that I've attempted Barkley before, so I wanted to talk a little bit about that since I'm not going to shoot any running footage today. I first went to the race in 2014, and I also went in 2015. I've known about the race since 2005, 2006, right around the time that I entered the sport of ultramarathon running, and it's something that's always intrigued me. For me, it seems like it's a perfect culmination of all of the skills that I possess. So orienteering and wilderness survival and just having grit. I've never dropped out from a race, never voluntarily quit. There's been some other things I've quit, but never in an actual race. My two previous Barkleys I've timed out. Once, the very first time I went was 2014, and I arrived just before the race. And yeah, really your best hope as a virgin at Barkley is to latch on to a veteran and follow them. So I picked someone I thought I could keep up with and just latched on. And the crazy thing about that was we hit book one, and I was following Alan Abs and Beverly Abs, and they had teamed up with John, I'm going to say his name wrong and I apologize, Fegurasi. He's a previous finisher. So I just stuck right behind them. I wasn't the only one with that idea. So there ended up being about, I'd say 10 of us that arrived at book one all together, a mix of virgins and veterans. And they were smart enough to coincide their bib numbers together. So one of them grabbed their 3 pages, ripped them out, and they took off down the hill. And that freaked me out. All of a sudden there was, 8 other hands reaching for book one to tear out that first page. And my lifeline was disappearing into the forest. So I just had to fight like hell, get my page, and take off after him. And in an event that could last 60 hours, you're not wanting to spike your heart rate in the first hour. But that's exactly what happened. It literally felt like the Hunger Games. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen. And we were literally sprinting down the side of a cliff, basically. Like, this thing was so steep, you're just sliding on your butt. I'm ripping down the trail after these guys, after the Abs. And so while all this is happening, it's happening very, very fast. And I'm trying to commit to memory, like, okay, what turn did we just make? Why did we do what we just did? All while trying to keep up with them and stay on top of nutrition. It was a pretty surreal experience. I don't have time to go into all the details of Barkley 2014 and 2015, but ended up sticking with Alan more or less for most of the race. I did find books 1 through 4 on loop 2 by myself. I was completely alone. And the high that I got from that experience was like nothing else I've experienced in an ultramarathon until I went back to Barkley. But being out there, alone, in the woods, searching for those pages is motivating as hell, because you actually have a purpose. You're not just following ribbons. You have to think for yourself. And that's one of the most appealing things of Barkley. I eventually did link up with that group and stuck with Alan and John quite a bit. And we were able to push each other to a fun run finish that first year. We knew we were going to be close with about, 8 hours left. So we were 32 hours in, and we knew it was going to be tight to the 40-hour cutoff. And we pushed it to the limit and finished with 5 minutes to spare, which was very, very nerve-wracking, very suspenseful, but very, very cool. Coming away with a fun run finish in 2014, having not really specifically trained for the event, is definitely one of the highlights of my running career, and an experience that will always be with me. There's a special bond I definitely have with the other guys that were out there. And we'll see what happens this year. But that's a little tale of Barkley 2014. Hopefully I'll share some more stories with you guys as we get closer. Right now I spent about an hour today going through old race reports from previous finishers, and I'm getting stoked, but also feeling nervous because it's rekindling some of the memories of the past and of just how insane it is out there, and just what it takes to complete a fun run or get out on loop 4 or the hallowed grounds of a loop 5 is just something that I don't think anyone can understand except people that have been there. And I'm stoked. Like, I want to get to Loop 5 this year. Definitely. I want to PR at minimum. I know a lot of people say, well, you got to go in with the mentality of a 5 loop finish, and that's all well and good. I don't think that I'm not thinking about that, but for a while I had just written it off, and I had this built-in excuse in my head of, well, you haven't done the training, so there's no way you can do it. Should I even go? And then at one point, I was like, I'm gonna go. Maybe I'll just go for a fun run. And no, now I'm feeling hungrier than that. I want to get on Loop 5. I want to hear that bell, the bell lap. So I'm gonna do everything I can these next 2 weeks to get out on Loop 5. That's why I've got these instructions from 2015. I'm reading through these right now, and that's why I've got this map out, and I'm doing a little bit of studying and visualizing my previous races, try and go back in my mind and remember where the important turns are and where the book locations are in my head, doing some of the prep work that I didn't really do in 2015, and I'm just getting stoked. So feeling it, feeling the stoke. All right, enough blabbering.